reason why I want to give a special thanks to you guys is because without you guys, we wouldn't be here, right? That's one part of it. The second part is a special thanks to the guest speakers, everyone before me, everyone after me. You guys have been doing an amazing job. I've been in the silos, just watching you guys, right? Doing your best to provide value, change lives, help those who are helping others, which is very important. But most importantly, to you guys. And really quick, I just want you guys to give yourself a round of applause for everything that you guys do. Right? How hard you guys work, yes? That's it? That's what you guys do? Is this going to be a little bit heavier, no? Isn't that exciting? There you go! There you go! You guys work freaking hard. Extremely hard. Right? Everything that you guys do from the ground up, that's not easy. Sometimes you just got to give credit back to you guys. We work all day, in and out, trying to help so many other people, we forget to pat ourselves on the back. Right? Would you agree? Yes or yes? Yeah. Fantastic. So this is one value that I live by, and I found that this organization does the same. It's one team, one mission, no excuses. We own our actions, embrace failure, and always do what's right. From there, I know that in order for me to bring you value, I have to prove that I know something about marketing, correct? Yeah. So, I want to start a little bit, just really quick, I won't spend too much time on this, about my story, how I got into what I got into. So, 15 years ago, actually over 15 years ago, I used to do counterterrorism, and I used to be a bodyguard. And then in my journey, I learned that I can help a lot of other people by opening up another foundation that helped military veterans acquire high-paying jobs in the security field. So, first I thought it was a great idea, but I didn't know how much I was in over my head. Because I had to hire them, I had to train them, I had to give them employment, and this was a one-man's job at that standpoint, right? How many of you run everything on your own without a team? Raise your hand. It's tough, right? Yeah. So I went through that same process, and I was preparing for weeks, trying to put together my very first class. And I was talking to people, and people were telling me, yeah, they're going to show up, yeah, they're going to connect me with a friend. I was doing everything humanly possible, and then I probably spent over $2,000 on my presentation, only to have 2 people show up. Wow. Right? I felt defeated. It's funny now. Yeah. But before I felt defeated, I felt lost. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I was looking online. I was following all the steps. I was watching other YouTube videos, and I just couldn't get it together. I don't know why. So these are things I tried. I post randomly on social media. Raise your hand if you do any of these things, okay? I post randomly on social media, trying to get some attention, right? I went to networking events, right? I offered discounts and lowered my prices, something I highly recommend that you do not do, right? I spent money on the wrong ads, just Instagram boosting, or I tried to place something on Facebook and didn't go anywhere. And then I tried to build websites, hoping that people could see it, not knowing that you have to drive traffic to it somehow. How many of you have tried any of these things? Raise your hands. Holy crap. So a lot of you guys, right? So it's a struggle, and what I learned is I have to do, the video's not playing, but it's just this guy yelling emotional damage. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that video, but that's exactly what I felt like. Right? I was at my breaking point. So I started to hire coaches. I said, I need to get help. Right? So I hired one coach, and then I hired another coach, and then I hired another coach, and then I hired another coach. I wanted to make sure that I can create some type of significant success with my time, energy, money invested into a specific outcome. And just in case if you're wondering, you can look up any of these guys. These are the sales that they've done over their time, and probably way more after the next slides. But from Pink June, Myra Golden, Tom Bell, you guys familiar with the Quest bars? Anybody? Are they pretty good? Or are they okay? So? I don't like them, but he sold the company for over $1 billion. Right? Alex Hormozi, over $100 million in sales. Right? So these are the individuals that I learned from, I studied with, and should try to build a stronger foundation. So all these skills combined is worth over $1.1 billion in sales and marketing skills. So from there, these are the things that I put together. I showed up where students were already searching. So I did Google ads, Facebook ads, Instagram ads the correct way, not the way I was just boosting before. On top of that, I use paid ads to attract them in the right manner. I use automated follow-ups to convert more leads. How many of you use CRMs? You guys know what that is? Yes or no? Right. How many of you don't know what a CRM is? Okay. So customer relationship management, this is where you can automate a lot of the conversations on the back end. You can follow up with leads. I highly recommend you guys acquire a CRM if you don't have one, because it enables you to make sure you're not losing your marketing dollars. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So I built systems that ran itself. I created content that positioned myself as the expert in those fields, in those specific niches. And this was the outcome. So from 2 students to 20, 30, 40, 50 a class. And then within 90 days, I was able to hire over 100 military veterans. 100 in just 3 months. Right, so everyone getting paid like maybe anywhere from $70,000 to $80,000 a year, some more, through the organization I put together. And from there, I was inspired to try to do more, to try to give more. So I spread out from that niche into other niches. So who am I now and what am I doing? I'm a founder of a full-service marketing service company. I spent over $40 million in ads over the past 20 years, learning what works and what doesn't work. I have over 1,400 plus successful clients around the world, and I'm known as a business growth expert, and obviously speaking. And this is what that looks like. And as I continue my process, I continue learning new things. I'm not the master at anything but learning how to grow faster. I don't put myself above anyone. I try to learn because I feel like we can always learn something new from everyone else. Would you agree? Yes or yes? Yes. All right, so what I'm doing now is doing my best to simplify the complexity of marketing. Because we all know that once we jump into Facebook, we're like, okay, yeah, we can do this. And then we find out that there's Facebook business page, and then there's Facebook Meta, and then there's Facebook Ads Manager, and then there's Facebook Live, and there's like 6 other things. And it gets confusing really fast. And this is not even you set up your ads. This is just figuring out what platform to navigate on. Right? And that had drove me crazy for like 4 months straight, trying to figure this out on an 8-hour-day period. So let me ask you a quick question. Have any of you went on Google and Googled your business yet? Yes? Yes. Okay, so for those who haven't, if you can, just really quick, a big and proud engagement, right? Go on your phone. Everyone here should have a smartphone. If you're not, I have a lot of questions for you. But go on your smartphone right now and Google your business, if you can, right now. Right? I want you to look at, see if you're on the top, if you're the first thing that pops up, right? I want you to look at your Google reviews. Right? This is important because this is everything your potential clients may see, or the new students that you want to acquire. Right? You have to start looking at marketing from their perspective. Because how are you going to get their attention if you don't know what they're looking at? If you don't know how you're positioned online? Right? So, really quick, when it comes to your Google reviews, do you have more than 3 or 4 reviews? Yes? No? Yes? Yes? Okay. Ma'am, can I ask you? I'm sorry to take you off.
I'm sorry.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yes.
How many Google reviews do you have?
We have about 30.
About 30. Nice. And how long have you been in business?
39, actually.
39. How long have you been in business?
Well, on my own since COVID, 2020. Nice. But I've been teaching for 30 years, but just on my own since 2020.
Imagine if you would have started this earlier, right? And you would have asked all of your past students if they could just leave you a quick Google review. How many Google reviews would you have today?
Oh, You know, it's amazing though about those Google reviews because the students all say how much fun they had at the class and how great it was. And if you wouldn't mind just dropping, and we send them the link, we make it really easy for them. And still maybe one or two, sometimes none. From a large class, it's hard to get them to do it. I don't.
The reason why is because if you ask just one time and they agree, they may forget later. Right? Because we get busy. We get busy with lives. Right? And in fact, when it comes to everything that you're doing, I've learned that we have less attention span than a goldfish. Isn't that? A goldfish attention span is around 9 seconds. We have about 7 seconds. That means while I'm talking, you guys are probably like, squirrel. And it happens, right? But that's why we have to adjust to the new changes in the world. So when it comes to Google reviews, I highly recommend, any of you or all of you, is to have a system on the back end that as soon as your student finishes, right? Even if just the first day, because some of you have 3 classes, 5 classes, right? Just the first day, you want to get them while they're hot, right? Send them a text or an email to leave a Google review and put the link to your Google review. Make it easy for them, right? This way that they can do it right then and there. And then, if you have a CRM or a system, what you want to do next is make sure you automate that. So if they don't do it right then and there, then it'll follow up with them 2 days later, a week later. Eventually they'll do it. So 30 years of experience will be out there. And the best part about that is, no one talks better about your service or the value that you provide than your customers. Would you agree? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yes or yes?
Yes.
Some of you are still looking at your Google reviews. Okay, so when you're Googling your business, those are the things that you want to look for, right? What people think and what they see online. So this is very important. When it comes to generating more sales, getting more business, creating more awareness online, there are 4 main factors. Number 1 is marketing. This is organic and digital marketing. Number 2 is going to be sales. Because, I mean, you don't want to put all your time, energy, and effort into marketing and then don't generate sales. Number 3 is going to be systems. You want to be able to simplify this for growth purposes. And then number 4, obviously, is going to be branding. So this is what it looks like. Without marketing, no one knows you exist. And that's why some of you are struggling right now. You don't have content marketing, you don't have paid marketing, you just have your website, you did all the stuff that I used to do, and people can't find you, and you don't know how to find them. Right? Next is going to be sales. Without sales skills or having a good sales system, what happens next is you figure out marketing, you put all this money towards it, maybe you get, you're putting, I don't know, $1,500, $2,000, $5,000 a month towards paid ads, right, towards Facebook, and you're only seeing maybe, what, 10% of that back? That's because you don't have a good sales backend. Next is going to be systems. Without systems, you can't track growth. You can't see the numbers. You're losing leads. Everything on the back end is just flopping. Right? You're using a lot of old school methods that just don't work anymore. And then lastly, which is the most important thing, is let's say you have everything aligned. How do you compete with the next person next to you? If you guys are in the same city, you're about maybe, 20 minutes away, how do you compete against the other instructor? It's how you say, what you say to the people you're trying to service. That's what branding is all about. It's what people say about you. All right? So, this is old school marketing. How many of you recognize this right here? I showed this to my sister. She's like, yeah, Grandma used to throw that at me all the time. Right? Door knocking. Sit on it. Door knocking. Flyers. Some of you still do some of these things. Right? Or send email. These things just don't work as good as they used to. Everything nowadays is online. You have Facebook, you have Google, you have YouTube. You have to go where your audience is. And if you're not investing time to be there, I guarantee you your competition is. And then that motivation, that drive, that inspiration you had to start this direction to try to help as many people as possible to earn a living, changing lives, starts to dwindle a little bit because you can't get people's attention. And the worst thing you can ever do is lose that motivation that got you started in the first place. So let's try to fix that. What we're going to do is we're just going to focus on the basics of content marketing with Facebook Meta. Right? And I don't know if you guys know, but Facebook Meta owns Instagram and WhatsApp. Do you guys know that? Okay, cool. I didn't know that they own WhatsApp. That's new to me. Did you guys know that you can run ads on WhatsApp? That's something new that they have to. They try to get money from every avenue. But it works. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with the AIDA system. Right? So AIDA stands for Awareness, Interest, Desire, and Action. And what that looks like specifically is you're going to create awareness to get noticed online. You're going to create interest. From there, you're going to create desire. Then lastly, you want them to take action. So everything that we're going to be talking about for this next 30 minutes to an hour or so is going to be about the AIDA system, broken down. Okay? So let's make marketing simple again. We're going to start with this funnel. Attract students, but no direct selling. Again, everything we're going to do is from an organic standpoint. Okay? Educate, entertain, and engage to build trust, because people have to like and trust you in order to want to work with you. Next is become an expert in their eyes, so as a person who can help solve their problems, and then you want to use that to generate the sale. So it's a process. You can't just actually sell anymore. You have to take people through this funnel. Right, so how do I create content that generates sales? We're going to go through the system. The hook, educate, storytelling, CTA, and then placement. And before I get too far into this, I just want to say earlier, I heard different inputs of like using storytelling as a technique in your classes, right? And I just want to say really quick, you can use whatever you see here or whatever I share with you in any way that sees fit, right? But just remember, when you are sharing a story, the premise of that is to drive an epiphany, to drive them to a point. So if you're using storytelling in your content, right, you want them to have that epiphany of, okay, he or she went through the same problems as me, and they found a solution that I'm trying to acquire. That's why I want to work with them, right? If you're doing it in a classroom setting, and you're trying to drive a point as to why you should not do something, as long as it reaches that epiphany, they will understand you. And using analogies, metaphors, and epiphanies are proven to work better than just telling someone, don't do that. Would you agree? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Cool. So, hooks. Please follow along the best you can. If I go too fast, slow me down. Yes? Okay. So, you want to use a challenging hook. I'm going to share with you guys some examples. Right? So, a challenge hook is to challenge a common belief or misconception. Question hook is going to be engage the audience by making them think. And then social proof is using testimonials or results of their trust. Kind of like how I did at the beginning. I shared with you guys like all the things that all those nice people said about me. Right? So that helps to build a lot more credibility. And then what not to do as a good hook. So these hooks are going to be used at the beginning portion of the videos. Again, you yourself do not have to be in front of a camera. You can hire someone on your team or someone else to do these videos for you. But you want to have some type of framework, some type of system to walk them through. Because if you just trust people to do what you believe they're supposed to do, and then they do it with no direction, you're going to blame them for the lack of results. And that's time, money, and energy wasted, and you don't want to be in that direction. Okay, so here's real-time examples. Does this play? Oh, go back. No. Okay, 1 second. No. You gotta go back 2. There you go. Let me know if you guys are on. So as we're waiting, there you go. But there's no audio. small technical difficulties.
Actually, the audio's not coming through.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So the point of this is everyone in these, yes, everyone in these videos, they're using hooks to grab your attention in the first 3 seconds of a video, right? So that's why like, you see it the way that you see it. And the point of that is so that when someone's swiping and they're sliding, because all of you do it, right? You go on your phone, you start swiping, you need to grab their attention within those first 3 seconds. You don't do that, they'll swipe over you. So it doesn't matter to them what you have after that. What matters is how you grab their attention at the beginning. So, some examples. How I restored a completely flooded home in just 72 hours. Right? Are you unknowingly causing secondary damage in water restoration jobs? Or are you unknowingly causing secondary damage? How to remove stubborn stains like a pro without damaging the fibers? 3 advanced cleaning techniques, separate rookies from experts. What clients really want in a carpet cleaner is not just clean carpets. Right, so again, this is tailored to your specific audience. So hooks, the point of it is to grab attention instantly, make a student stop, listen, and take action. Before I continue, you guys have any questions on hooks? No? Does this all make sense? Yes?
Yes. Yes.
And if I bore you, say you're boring me, okay? All right, so let's go into educate. So educate. When you educate, you're giving away free value, right? Sometimes, and I've heard this from a lot of people in a lot of different industries, oh, but if I just tell them how to do it, then they're not going to want to work with me. But if you provide value, and you show them how you fix a specific problem, it doesn't have to be all the problems, just one specific problem, they're going to trust you more. Right? And they'll never be as good as you. They can't do what you do. They haven't done it as many times as you have done it. Right? But at least you'll start to hook them in. So 3 common mistakes in moisturizer detection. Now these, again, everything I have here is just examples of things that you guys can talk about, like topics, after you create those hooks. So these things have to connect with each other. And when you do that, make sure that, again, you're driving them to that specific point, that epiphany, so that they see you as that person who's providing that value, that they can trust you. And that's what you want. Right? So again, just more examples. Right? The dangerous facts between hot water extraction and dry cleaning. And to be honest, as I was going through all this research, I was blown away on how much you guys actually know, because I didn't know any of this. Right? Like, if I'm in my house and I have a problem, I'm calling somebody. I don't know how to do anything. I can't YouTube this stuff. It's way too complicated for me. Right? So, how to remove pet odors permanently. I mean, I know a lot of people love this one. Right? But I don't see a lot of information online on how to do it. I try to look at YouTube videos, all that stuff.
I think maybe there's a confusion between the consumer
Mm-hmm.
and our customers.
Yes.
They're different.
Yes.
So I don't even want to get clogged up with the consumer. I'm just targeting the person who's the contractor, the facility, or whoever.
Mm-hmm.
And I really don't want like a homeowner to start calling me and asking me a question. And I think most people are like that here.
So if you have that issue, right, that which is called a target audience issue, right, then you have options from there. Knowing the problem is a part of the solution, right? So from there, it's how you're creating your content and how you're calling out that person, right? So the person you serve again is who?
Contractor, facility, you know, the guy in charge of me.
Perfect. So then you would easily say, right, like, hey, so if you're a contractor who's struggling with these 3 issues, boom, right? As a contractor, if you find yourself stuck with this problem, boom, right? You call out the people who you're serving, and then you get their attention. You'll always get John Doe and Jane Doe reaching out to you that's not a part of that circle, but I mean, that's just the online world. You know, people are weird. Right? But from there,
I think
the more specific you are, the better it is.
The exposure is going to be different because when you're talking a mass consumer market, Like, just take carpet cleaners as an example. There's probably 20 or 30,000 of them. That's it. That's smaller than a little town, you know, like, that's nothing really. So that's really our target market for some people, and there's some others too. But it's not the homeowner, which is millions and millions of people. And our job is really not to teach them, but you know, they will of course learn, but the thing is they become a bother for us. And then again, liability. Because, you know, I don't want to teach a homeowner to do something and it screws something up. I want to teach the professional to do it, and he's got the insurance to do it.
So for me, if I were you, right, my solution to that problem is I would build content and I would run ads that are specifically tailored to that person that I'm trying to attract. The fact that you said there's about, what, 20, 30,000, right? That, for me, those are really easy numbers to hit. I would do that in a heartbeat, right? I don't have to hit the whole US, just 20, 30,000 people to just get their attention. I would create content just for them. I would call them out at the beginning of the first 7 seconds of the video. I would use the hook to get their attention, and the rest of the seconds I'd be talking to that person. The hooks, the ads, everything will be focused around just that one point. For me, I believe that would be your best solution. Would you agree?
Yes.
Any other questions? No? Before we continue, can we give him a round of applause for... Okay, cool. Again, so these are just more examples of topics you guys can talk about, right? So teach, don't just sell, right? You want to give value away for free. You want to solve problems as much as humanly possible. You don't want to just push someone towards a buy button without them knowing the value that you provide, okay? So next is storytelling, one of my favorite parts. Right, I'm a huge advocate to storytelling. Stories create connections. They make your content feel more relatable, more memorable, right? And it helps with personal branding side. The more that people know you, your story, or your company's story, the more that they can relate and connect with you, especially as instructors, right? You want to be able to share your trials and your tribulations, your struggles, what your family has created to make a stronger foundation for the next individual that's walking through that door. The more that they know that, the more that they can connect with you, the more that they want to work with you. People have to like and trust you even before they meet you. All right, so here's an example. This is Janelle. She's a client of mine. She's a solo business owner and a single mom of 3. When I first met her, she was only making about maybe $50,000 to $70,000 a year with her business. And she was struggling nonstop in how to acquire more clients. And just like many of you, she didn't know how to use the online world. Right? She was struggling to figure out Facebook, Instagram, all these platforms, and she was focusing on things that she shouldn't, like her logo or the website. So after working together for 6 months, and she finally put her trust in putting money into ad spend, not just content creation, but you'll learn the difference in a minute. When you put your money into ad spend, what happens next is you get in front of the consumer faster. Especially if you put more money. Why? Because everyone in the market who's throwing money, now you're competing on so many different levels. Number one is who's spending the most. He or she who spends the most in ad spend controls the game. That's rule number 1. Number 2 is how well is the ads that you put out there is connecting with those specific dream clients that you're talking about. Number 3 is going to be what is the value that you're providing? How is it different from everyone else? What is the offers? Do you have any guarantees? Any safety nets? So we went through this whole entire process, and I don't know if you can play the next video that has audio, but she actually went on stage and won an award within that same year of doing over $300,000 in sales from that same year that we had started. All right, she teaches as well. But obviously in a different industry. My point here is that she said, I can't figure this out on my own, same way I did. So she hired someone to help her in that process. And this is her going on about you, but for me, it feels good to win. It feels good to see those who you train, who you work with, succeed in their life, right? Because from there, although she's, still a single mom, runs her business, now she's successful, she can give back to her kids more. And this is important because when you share stories like this with your instructors and with your teams, right, and you're creating content, that's the same thing that they want. They want to create a strong foundation for themselves and their family financially. And through your service and through your value, they can acquire that. Right? They need to know how to do the jobs, where to find the jobs, what to do when things go wrong. They can't do that without you. In the worst case scenario is that they try, they mess things up, so it gets worse for them, and they don't want to continue. Or they go to someone else who's not as experienced as you. So now they're really stuck. Because now they have a bad experience, right? They don't believe this can work. They still want to give it a try, and you have to deal with that person who has limited beliefs. So now you have to work twice as hard. And this is what happens if you don't get their attention from the beginning. So, those are the simple foundations, right? Hook, story, and lesson. And the more that you provide those type of values, the easier it becomes. So here's another example of a hook being used. Most people think cleaning upholstery is simple until one mistake costs them thousands. Quick question. If you're online and you see something like this, would that grab your attention? Yes or yes? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay. So now we go into the eye-opener portion, which is imagine walking into a client's home, confident in your skills. They hand you their high-end silk couch, trusting you to clean it safely. You grab the steamer, go to work, and in seconds the fabric shrivels like folded. That's a scary sight.
It'll have to be some other material, definitely not silk. Yeah, I was replace that with
You see, but that's the difference of
rayon.
that's the difference of having knowledge, experience, and skills, and someone who doesn't. But it also starts that type of conversation. This is why these stories are good. Right? That's the point of that. So next is my client's face turned red. Obviously, you know why. Right? You just ruined my $2,500 couch. No excuses, no second chances. Just this gut-wrenching realization that I had messed up. Now imagine, as I'm saying this, that you're doing a video, and you're talking like this in a video, or you have someone who you hire that's doing this video for you. Imagine how the audience is going to respond to that.